Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. My name is Rebecca Ravenbird and today I'm going to be showing you another one of my Star Stable notebooks. So the last video I made was over a year ago when I made a flip through of my Star Stable binder, and that was really popular. That was really helpful for a lot of club owners. So in this new notebook here, I'm going to be showing you some new stuff. So these yellow tabs here are just some sticky notes of pages I'm not going to be showing you, but yeah, let's get started. So I used to be a lot better at making lesson plans in my notebook, but yeah, I do it every once in a while in here, but now I kind of actually just type them up or just use our curriculum document. Here's a random move. I kind of made this up, but I heard the name Pure from somewhere else. Anyways, another beginner lesson here, and some other lesson plans for intermediate and advanced. Let's see, up next, we have the Winter Collaboration event hosted by Autumn Dreamers. So this was a big, huge event between a whole bunch of clubs, and this was from my event, I think. I was trying to tally up the scores and stuff. So we had Saturn City and Thunderhooves Nation, Silent Dragons. Okay, so these are just some notes for an event that I was hosting way back in like the new year of this year. So we had 3 different craft activities that I led, and it was a lot of fun. And more lesson plans and random chicken scratch over here. So this is, I think, it might be the first time you kind of see this system of taking attendance. So basically, I just write down everybody's names as they come into the call. So whoever comes in first, you know, I write their name first. And then what I do, you see me highlight every single one of their names. After I write their names down here, I will then go into a spreadsheet and I will check off their attendance there as well. Because I don't like doing the attendance like on my phone, I like just writing it down here. So let's see, we have some graduation notes. Yeah, some other stuff. I don't know what this means, but yeah, as you can see, like, I need to write stuff down in order for me to remember everything. And I like doing it just in kind of this analog style. I like, you know, having a computer and typing stuff up and being organized there when it's necessary, but here is when I need to, you know, just chicken scratch everything. Oh yeah, so this is a random, I think this is a name that, a move that one of my members came up with, so Pig and Piggity. The more attendance here, I tried to do a different method of doing attendance, so I set up the method, it's like a calendar, so right, we have 5/26, 5/27, 31, and then June. And then I would write down the names here and like what the topic was for that particular day, so that's what I did there. That obviously did not last long, but you know, it works, right? If you make it work for you, then that's what you should do. Okay, so around this time period, this is when we were doing Teen Beach Movie. So this was just kind of a map of where everybody should be. I was trying to take 6 writers and put them evenly across, I think, like a 10-meter circle. So that was just mapping that out, and then some attendance notes here. Late Night Dressage, I credited them as being a helpful resource for doing the routine. Let's see, attendance from Teen Beach Movie here and over here. This routine, the Devil's Tango routine, this, I was gonna be a part of a team for some team that was, I think, made on like kind of a last minute notice. I don't quite remember. And then also too, I did have to exit the team because there was a little bit of drama. But I did actually see this routine being finished and uploaded to YouTube, and I think it looked nice. But yep. I don't know what these notes mean, but they look really organized. Okay, up next is more attendance from Teen Beach Movie Emerald Extravaganza. So this was our 2-year anniversary event, so I tried to organize what the sequence of events was going to be, how long they were going to last. So definitely when you're planning a public event, make sure you really organize like step by step what is going to happen within this certain amount of time period, what the rules are going to be if you're hosting any games and stuff. Okay, so here, if you've seen some of my SSC freestyle dressage videos, this is the notes I usually take for that. So just figuring out like what order I want to do these moves in, because SSC wants you to do a certain amount of moves, so you can do them in whatever order and whatever gate, for the most part. So yeah, just figuring out what is my routine for this certain freestyle. So here, this is an important page for us. So up here, these are a bunch of tally marks for how many takes we had to do for Teen Beach Movie. And the reason for that is, well, two reasons. One is because we had to be in a team for Teen Beach Movie. We couldn't have all Hunters members. We had to have 3 Hunters members and 3 extras to help us out. So we had to do it in the public arena because we couldn't use the I button. So we had to count how many takes we had to do so that way when I cut the video, I know which take is the proper one. And then here, this is just a summary of what I thought of Emerald Extravaganza. Let's see, live stream, Rainbow Relay, yeah, all of that stuff. Goals for next time. Member speeches, and how do I get members to talk? Nowadays, we don't really have that much of an issue with, you know, members wanting to talk. Of course, it's always optional for us. But yeah, they're very active in the chats, or active, you know, if they decide to come off mute. Yeah, so that is about Emerald Extravaganza. I always recommend taking a moment if you have a big event or some sort of major change that's happening within your club. Take a moment to reflect on that and what you did well, what you can work on, things like that. Okay, so this is some notes I took during Light's Canter Skills lesson from SSD. This was a nice lesson. Talked a little bit about screen delay and how that works. Let's see, and I think this right here, this half a distance, 1.5 distance, was kind of my notes. Like, I had a tendency to be like this far behind or something. I don't quite remember. So yeah, it says right here, instead of being HI strictly, listen to Commander's perspective, right? Because dressage, you know, is partially about your performance, but in the end, it's about what the commander sees, especially when you're doing routines. So you always want to listen to your commander to see what feedback they have for you, so that way you can improve your individual performance as a result of what the commander sees. Okay, up next, so this was the beginner tutorial series. This is the SSD beginner tutorial series that we did on the Hunters channel, so I just wanted to make sure I went through all of the lessons and how I taught the members how to do all of this stuff. Here is another freestyle routine. So this was my level 2 dressage test, freestyle I should say. Here are some more detailed notes, right? You see like some captions here of what approximately I'm doing. So if you ever create routines, definitely, you know, put some detailed information on what exactly you're doing. And here's the checklist of what they required for this level 2 freestyle. Alright, the Pioneers Open Week. So the Pioneers was a UK club, I believe, and sadly they disbanded, but they had some really nice clinics. They had an open week where you could come to, like, open lessons and learn some stuff. So yeah, I always take notes, you know, even if it's like beginner level stuff, I always like taking notes on, you know, what is their perspective on things? What is their way of explaining things? Because if I'm an instructor, and perhaps I'm having trouble explaining something to one of my members, if I hear an explanation from another group that makes a lot of sense, I can pass that on to my club and see if it works for them. So let's see. Some more notes here. Oh yes, so RRD, so that is Royal Regiment Dressage. We did a collaboration with them actually. That's found on our Instagram page. So I just went over this. This was just a short lesson plan, really, just kind of an outline, really. Okay, more notes on the Pioneers Open Week. Filming plan. Oh yes, so this was the filming of the tutorial series, once again. Okay, right here, this is this Candyland? No. No, this was Trouble. Okay, so basically we played Trouble, the board game, in the Star Stable Dressage Arena. And that was a lot of fun, so I just did this to math out what dots they were going to use as the game board. And then over here we have some notes that I'm gonna add to our beginner dictionary, just for like formatting reasons, but these are notes on what to do when you make a mistake during dressage. So for example, if you move late, the solution that Emerald Hunters uses is we want you to keep moving late and then check gaps afterwards. Let's see, if you move the wrong way for a single curl, keep moving in the wrong direction and move in time. Right, so different solutions on how to properly manage your gates, not gates, manage mistakes. Okay, up next, just more attendance. So I actually ended up switching the attendance method, and I'll show you that when we get to the back of this notebook here, because what happened is like I would turn to the page, but then sometimes I would lose my spot, like in the notebook, because this is in between other stuff. So it's just a random page, and then I'd lose what the date was. So let's see, more attendance here. This was music I was wanting to use for, I forgot which dressage routine it was, but then I ended up going with, oh, it was, I don't remember what level it was, but it was my Teen Beach Movie dressage freestyle that I ended up going with. Oh yes, so this is another SSD lesson. So this was hosted by Loggy, April Bitterdew. And so these were the community moves that we went over, and I just took some notes on how those go. So these are something I may add to our dictionary, but it was good to actually ride in this lesson to like actually physically test out what these moves looked like and felt like. So we have pillow, roller coaster, ocean, yeah, tiles, yep. Okay, up next is the working equitation course. Very nice. So this is an event that I hosted with Emerald Hunters. I credit PQL for the idea of hosting a working equitation course for your club as an event. So this was my course that I made up. It's very chicken scratchy, but it was actually a lot of fun, and here are the scorecards I made for each member. Every obstacle was out of 10, so the way you do your halt, the way you do your circle, and stuff like that. And so I just did it by, here's the members, and then here's the score. So there's that. Up next, more freestyle routine notes, more diagrams that I made for that, and tutorial video rules. So this is just a set of guidelines for myself on how am I gonna organize myself to make a tutorial video. So separate files for writer, commander, camera, labeled all the same way, go in the exact order each time. Okay, yeah. So making sure, like, if you list an order of moves that you're gonna do, make sure you actually perform it in that order, so that way when you're going to edit the video, you just go boom, 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 right in a big sequence, instead of having to look for a file over here, a file over there, a file over here, stuff like that. Okay, PQL Elite moves. This was in a lesson hosted by Late Night Dressage, I think, so we went over Princess Mars and Pink and Queen. I don't know why I don't have notes for that, but there are some of the notes for that. I would recommend looking at PQL's actual website, because these notes make sense for me and not maybe necessarily for you. And that's one thing that's also really important too. When you're taking notes for dressage, when you're taking notes for your club, make sure they make sense for you and that they're easy to use for you. And then if you need to share them with somebody, make sure you take a moment to explain what you mean, explain the context of your notes so that they understand what you mean. Here's another event. So the Renaissance Fair, we had a Renaissance Fair in, I don't remember, it was like early September, October, something like that for the club. So here were some activity ideas that I had. Oh, and then the Fall Carnival as well. So both of these events were a lot of fun. Lots of different game ideas that we had for that. Here, this is my notes on my video on how to create Star Stable accounts in other regions. So just going through the step-by-step process of that. Basically a script almost. So if you're a YouTuber, try to make sure you script out your videos, or have some way of sequencing your videos so that it makes sense. So that way you don't have to like go back and refilm and stuff like that. Ooh, alright, so here we go. This is the LDC pop-up show. So a pop-up show, well, let's first talk about LDC. So LDC stands for Live Dressage Competitions, and I'm a head administrator for that organization, which means I have a lot of administrative power within that group, and I can help make decisions, I can help lead the group. So this was a pop-up show. We did a live dressage competition. I don't remember when it was. I think it was September-ish. So these were just my notes on the live show, and we gave out scores for these groups. We had a lot of people come to this show. Look at how many people came. That was so cool, for the fact that it was just a random pop-up show on like Hazy Galaxy or something like that. So I highly recommend joining LDC. It's a really great organization because we are bringing back live dressage competitions. So we're really organized. We have shows every month or so, and eventually we're going to plan on having our finals banquet and award ceremonies. It's going to function kind of like a realistic roleplay competition, but also we specialize in SSO dressage, so I think that'll be really exciting. Okay, so these are my notes from the HJFJ Hunter Clinic. So HJFJ stands for the Hunter Jumper Federation of Jorvik. It's a really very professional, realistic roleplay organization on Discord. So these were just my notes on what judges are looking for during Hunter. Was this an over... Yeah, this was an over fences clinic, I think. So I highly recommend joining HJFJ. I think I'll put a link in the I'll put a link to LDC and HJFJ in the description of this video so you guys can join those servers. But yeah, I really like HJFJ. Winnie is very, very nice. She's very sweet, very professional, very good with time management, making sure that like we have information about our shows, very organized. I'm actually an ambassador for HJFJ, so that's really cool as well. But yeah, I really enjoy going to their shows. And I know the video is getting darker here, so I'm sorry about that, guys. But let's see, Once Upon a Dream, I believe, what was I doing here? Oh yes, so this was our first official show with LDC, and so these are just my notes on the judging criteria on that and what I decided, like, they did good arena usage here. Let's see, some notes. Ooh, they did a crescent, that was cool, things like that. Okay, so this is my notes on a exit test. So BET stands for Beginner Exit Test, and this was the writer who was taking the test, so JD. So basically, these are the things we test our members on within Emerald Hunters when they're testing from the beginner level to try to exit and then go up to intermediate level. This is what they do. So this was the score for that. And then, yeah, like I said, my notes for JD. Let's see, this was my notes for a video I am planning on making. No, wait, I think I already made it. It was my home stable tour, so just making sure I covered all of my horses that I need in that video. And this was the notes and routine that we had for the Emerald Hunters video edit that we did. Right, so just very rough drawings, thumbnail sketches. I'm a much better artist than that, because look at that, that looks like a bean horse. But yeah, it's gotta just make sense for you. So this is for my horses theme songs. It's just a popular video trend that I wanted to do. So I'm not done, obviously, but yeah, just notes for when it's time to get back to that video. Okay, so this is the Wise Wings Order Creating Dictionaries Clinic on October 27th. If you don't know Wise Wings Order, you should, because their dictionary is very nice. Let's see, this is my notes for their strategies on how to create a dressage dictionary. This is the video notes. As you can see, I have a very, visual process for taking notes. This was my Taylor Swift anti-hero challenge, all the scenes I wanted to film for that. Yes, okay, so here we go. So what I actually do is now what I do in the back of the notebook, I take attendance in the back of the notebook, so that way the rest of this stuff up here, I can spend taking notes on whatever else. So let's see, this is a set of notes for the beginner exit test for these three people, so Moon, Charlie, and Yu. And I think the rest of this... Oh yes, so this is a video tutorial series I'm doing, the notes that I need for that. But then for the most part, everything else here is just attendance, right? All of these people who come into the calls and stuff, a to-do list, la la la. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the back of this notebook. It's nothing really too super special. What is this? Hunters. Oh, this was from NULSA, what divisions they have. And yep, pretty much it. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you learned something new about club management, or if you have a Star Stable notebook, let me know what kind of stuff you put in your Star Stable notebook. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!